Peace, power, and prosperity to my beautiful family. Godly. There's some presentations that I present to my family that sometimes present themselves. I'm just here as a vessel. So this is going to be one of those presentations. So welcome to the Cosmic Christ University, the home of the esoteric and metaphysical knowledge. I am ordained metaphysical minister, Corbin. You see the title. Believe it or not, as of now, you see the title before I do. We're talking about Argatha. We are talking about a black melanated queen from Argatha. Now, if I was just telling you this story with no proof, a lot of you probably would think I'm crazy. Even when I show you the proof, you're probably still going to think I'm crazy. So before I start and before I go in, because you guys know by now I'm going to go in, I want to welcome you all to join the Cosmic Christ University, the greatest university of our time. Whether you're a student of the esoteric or you're a master of the esoteric knowledge, we all join together into this university to awaken our fellow brothers and sisters as we now have entered the age of Aquarius and the quantum world. So once again, I want to welcome you all to the Cosmic Christ University. As of now, you are the ones, my brothers and sisters, who know the title. But we know it's going to be about Argatha. We know it's going to be about a melanated woman from or inside of Argatha. And we know it's a book to show us proof. So let's get ready to start. And before I go in, because it's not going to be a long presentation, but since it's not going to be a long presentation, I want to make sure the stuff that I'm presenting to you feeds your knowledge and feeds your hunger for what the hell this title is talking about. So let's go. Argatha, that's spelled Agartha. Argatha, that is spelled Agartha. Family, how many of you raise your hands, don't worry, I can see you. How many of you have heard of Argatha? All right, a few people. Actually, more than a few people. I want to read Wikipedia's definition or breakdown of what Argatha is. And I want you to read what Wikipedia says, because sometimes when it comes to certain things that people call conspiracy theories, Wikipedia agree right along with those people that say this is just conspiracy or rumor has it. But listen how they word this one. And let's get ready to have a great presentation. Argatha, once again, Agartha. Argatha is a legendary kingdom that is said to be located on the inner surface of the earth. It is sometimes related to the belief in the hollow earth. Ho, ho, ho! You didn't think it was going to be you knew it was going to be a good presentation. I'm going to read that again, because you see the title. I just got finished doing 3 chapters on this channel about the Anunnaki. And I love the spirit that resides within me, because it always brings information that correlates at the time that it's supposed to correlate and coordinate. So this is going to go right with the 3 chapters that I just did about the Anunnaki, based off the Zachariah Stitching work. Thank you, spirits. Thank you, the creator inside of me, Christ. The creator within me, Christ. The creator within you, Christ. Let's read that again. Argatha, which is spelled Agartha. If you don't know about Argatha, you yourself have some work to do after or in between this presentation. Argatha is a legendary kingdom that is said to be located on the inner surface of the earth. It is sometimes related to the belief in the hollow earth, and its popular subject is exotericism. But what is this channel? This is the home of esoteric And remember, esoteric means the hidden knowledge. We're about to dive deep. I want to do a little bit more reading about Argatha before I go in. The legend of Argatha remained mostly obscured in Europe until Gerard Encausse, and I spelled Encausse, edited and republished a detailed 1886 account by the 19th century French occultist Alexandre Saint Yves de Alvendore, and I spelled Alveydre. Let's continue going in. Saint, learning Sanskrit from a person called Haji Sharif, who told him about a mysterious place called Argatha, where he said that the original language of mankind was preserved, said that he had visited Argatha through astral projection and gave a detailed description of its marvels. Unlike Jaculut, that's spelled Jacolliot, Saint claimed that Argatha was still in existence underground, having moved there at the beginning of Kali Yuga. We're going to stop there because I think now we have an understanding, a start of what Argatha is. Now, what I want to do now is, because I'm all up, when you got people, you call them influencers or content creators, when they give you information like this, it is vital that the person you're listening to give you resources. I think they call them references now, have proof of what you're talking about. I think that's very vital. As a teacher and as a student, I think personally that is very vital. So I'm going to, and if you guys watching this, if you guys want me to send you the PDF or show you or send you a better version on how you can get the PDF, hit me up on the comments. We are brothers and sisters in this thing. So if you got questions, as a metaphysician, I got answers. So listen, I'm going to show you this right quick. You ready? Boom. I hope y'all can see that. Boom. Argatha by Marina Stjerna. Argatha, the Earth's inner world. Can y'all see that, family? I'm trying to pick to see if y'all can see it, but some say y'all can see that. Now, what I'm going to try to do, family, is I'm going to try to go ahead and I hope y'all can see that, family. Let me know in the comment section. Can y'all see that? Okay, I'm going to go back in. This is a book. It's 152 pages. Argatha, the Earth's inner world. Stop playing with me. Y'all asking questions about UFOs, UAPs, extraterrestrials. Come on, family. Y'all think it was over after the flood? You think everybody before the flood was gone? Come on, family. Stop it. All right, let's go into the table of contents right quick. Once again, you see, excuse me. You see all the information you knew was published in first print 2010, all rights reserved 2013. Let's go straight to here we go. Now, today I'm going to be talking from a specific chapter on here. But I want you to see the table of contents. I want you to see Argatha, paradise inside the earth. A real live dragon. Meeting Saint Germain, for you guys who know about the Great White Brotherhood. And we're not talking about no racial call. We're talking about spiritual beings. The Brotherhood, they're sitting masters. You know about Saint Germain. All right, so are y'all with me? I told you this is going to be one of those presentations that's going to present itself. Don't forget what the title is. This is not about racism. But if we're going to advance to the quantum world, and we're really going to understand the energy that a lot of us is getting for the Aquarian world, then we have to visit a time. We have to understand the mind frame of the people who control this planet now and what has been hidden from us, swept under the rug, and tried to be destroyed. That is now coming back. Mama is coming back. Mammy is coming back. And if you don't understand or research what the hell I'm talking about, you're going to be blind. So let's go in. Like I said, it's not going to be a long presentation at all. Maybe 30 minutes at its best. But I think it's time that we have a sit down as a family, a celestial family, and really talk about racism and the melanated people's journey the black and brown people's journey in this life and why things seem so hard for them, or why they have a hard time, or why the melanated black and brown people seems to be the one that is targeted when it comes to crimes, where it seems that they're the ones that are being shot down, killed, and no excuses needed afterwards. I want to read something. Let me find it, because maybe I can just click on here and it takes me straight to it. So let me see if I can find it. Here we go. The birthplace of mankind, Africa. I didn't come here today to play games. Chapter 31. The birthplace of mankind, Africa. Now, before I read this, and you can Google this book yourself, and like I said, if you're interested, then ask me for the PDF, and we can make sure you get that ASAP. Back to what I was saying. This book is about two people who were taken to Argatha. Their experience in Argatha, the places that they visit within the inner earth. I'm going to read this because just leaving off of the Anunnaki stuff that I left off, and I was trying to connect, race and how the older gods were a certain color, and then the new gods came in who were a certain color, and how racism that we know of today has always been in existence, even in the cosmos or in galactic time. There was something that happened racially, family, that made this planet what it is now. As above, so below. Things happen now because they happened before. And if we don't change, if we do not change the dynamics of what happened, then it's going to bound to repeat itself. So please, everybody join me right now. If you are liking what you hear so far, then hit the like button. If you want to share this video, share this video, because you're about to hear new information for the first time about a melanated queen who is from the inside of this earth. And Queen Mother, if you can hear me right now, I'll say your name and I'll say her name in a minute. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for reaching out at this time right now, because we know what we're hearing from the news. We know that it's you coming to send help to the people who are in tune to the vibration and frequency. So Mama, I thank you. Those who are watching who love Mama, we thank you. Okay. Oh, God. The birthplace of mankind, Africa. And I hope my beautiful family can see this right now. This is not a game. I'm going to read this, family. And it's an honor to read this to you. Before I read it, if you think this is about racism and hating another color, then maybe it's you who need to sit back and look at the man or the woman in the mirror. We are advancing into a spiritual world. The original womb has come back to call her children. And if her children are in tune, then the gifts and powers that are going to be bestowed upon them in this age of Aquarius is going to be beautiful. Once again, I'm going to be reading this. After this, you guys can hit the like button. You can share. You can leave comments. Let me know how you feel about what I just read to you, because this is all true. And at the end, the author verifies that everything he's saying is true to the bottom of his heart. You can read certain things sometimes. You can understand that what you're hearing is the truth. You can decipher the truth from the BS if you're intuitive like that. But I know some of you guys said, let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. Okay. Got y'all. Let's go. The birthplace of mankind, Africa. And the author says, or the one that is actually involved in this story is saying, occasionally we find ourselves in a land directly beneath the earthly kingdom, which is its birthplace. Occasionally, we find ourselves, and this is once again the two people who are traveling, who have got the benefit to travel inside the earth, which we know as Argatha. They are in Argatha. They are going to these different places inside the inner earth. Now, listen to this. This is called Chapter 31, The Birthplace of Mankind, Africa. Let's go in. Occasionally, they said, we find ourselves in a land directly beneath the earth kingdom, which is its birthplace. I'm going to read that again, because if you are a future archaeologist or you are a future scientist right now, you have some work to do. Occasionally, we find ourselves in a land directly beneath the earth, directly beneath the earthly kingdom, which is its birthplace. Quote, end quote. Remarked by Manuel. Manuel, I believe, based off this book, was almost like the tour guide. So I'm going to read it one more time and keep going. Occasionally, we find ourselves in a land directly beneath the earthly kingdom, which is its birthplace. Remarked Manuel, slightly obscurely as we were sitting in the hovercraft the next day. Yes, they were in a spaceship. And as you read throughout this book, they call this spaceship the Rolls Royce because it was classy, it was flashy. Where would that be, I wondered? Africa was the answer. Africa is enormous with many lands and innumerable tribes. Innumerable tribes mean many, many tribes. Valencio observed thoughtfully. Where exactly are we going? You'll see in a minute, Alberto replied in a tone of voice that brooked no argument. The craft swooped gently down into sand sculpted by the wind into wide circles in all directions. I'm going to stop, family. I'm going to stop because this is, I need you all, unless you're driving, then let's open and listen with your ears. Open your ears and listen. But if you're not driving, I need you to close your eyes and imagine this now, because this is, what I'm about to read is history. Not his story, but our story. I need you to close your eyes and visualize if you're not driving. If you're driving, just keep your eyes focused and listen with your ears. Occasionally, we find ourselves in a land directly beneath the earthly kingdom, which is its birthplace, remarked Manuel, slightly obscurely as we were sitting in the hovercraft the next day. Where would that be, I wondered? Africa was the answer. Africa is enormous with many lands and innumerable tribes. Valencio observed thoughtfully, and he said, where exactly are we going? You'll see in a moment, Alberto replied in a tone of voice that brooked no argument. The craft swooped gently down onto sand sculpted by the wind in wide circles in all directions. Let's read that again. The craft swooped gently down onto sand sculpted by the wind into wide circles in all directions. This was unmistakably the desert. That's all we need, I thought, a tribe from the African desert. They were making little inside jokes. I sat on steps of our vehicle trying to remove the sand from Stitch's muzzle. I do believe Stitch was their pet dog. But once again, this book is yours now. Val and the two masters walked around this seemingly uninhabited spot until we all heard a loud shrill call that became more resonant. Listen carefully, people, because now it gets interesting. As if from nowhere, there appeared dark-skinned warriors armed with crescent-shaped spears. Let me remind you where we are by reading once again up top. It says, we found ourselves in a land directly beneath the earthly kingdom. Okay, let's go back to where we were. As if from nowhere, there appeared dark-skinned warriors armed with crescent-shaped spears. They were naked apart from the loincloths, and their skin gleamed in the sun. They were painted with white stripes and other characters, and had feathers on their heads. Some of them had feathers fastened behind, giving the impression of birds. They rolled their eyes and seemed terrifying. Val moved closer to the masters, who were holding out their hands toward the tribe. Oh, we haven't even touched the surface. This is in Argatha. These are tribes of African men and women that look similar to the tribes that are on Earth, like the Hottentots, the Bushmen. It's about to get interesting because now we're talking about witnesses on this ship, no different than Enoch and no different than people in the Bible stories who were taken up and seen different places in different worlds. These people were taken inside of Earth. And inside of Earth, there was these many places, and one of these places resembled a desert. It was a desert, but it wasn't one on the surface of Earth. It was one inside of the Earth. And with these people, the witnesses and the ones who were with the masters, so I'm thinking that these were the ascending masters. Ascending masters, because Saint Germain is mentioned. Listen to what else happens with these witnesses or with these ascending masters and their witnesses, these tribes from inside the earth. And I thank you for listening, because this is never before heard stuff right now that you're getting for the first time. Some of you. Let's read that again. As if from nowhere, there appeared dark-skinned warriors armed with crescent-shaped spears. They were naked apart from loin clothes, and their skin gleamed in the sun. They were painted with white stripes and other characters, and had feathers on their heads. And had feathers on their heads. Some of them had feathers fastened behind, giving them the impression of birds. They rolled their eyes and seemed terrifying. I got some jokes there, but I'll save them, because I want to keep moving, because this is very serious. Val moved closer to the masters who were holding out their hands toward the tribe. So Val probably as witnesses, kind of hella scared, like, especially if you're a European, like, we're not on Earth, we're inside the Earth, and these melanated black people are still here and inside of Earth. So they go to the ascending masters. I'm gonna cling over to y'all, because these people, they barely got clothes on, and they got spears, and they mad deep. Yeah, but listen what the master does. Listen what the ascending master does. It says, Val moved closer to the master who were holding out their hands toward the tribes. So now when they land from this spaceship, this hovercraft, and they land and they see these tribe of African warriors, Val gets a little bit nervous because, we don't know what they're about. But now they come from a spaceship, and the ascending master holds out his hand, and guess what's about to be revealed? And he shows the tribemen. Listen. It says, Val moved closer to the masters who were holding out their hands toward the tribe. Now listen what the person says. To my surprise, I noticed rings of light swarming around the hands like huge incense. Put out your hands if you can, if you're not driving. I mean, if you're driving and you're skilled, you still can drive with one hand. But imagine these people are with these ascending masters in a spaceship. They are now in Argatha, which is inside the earth, a city, a world, also known as Shambhala, and has been compared to Shambhala, but I'll let you do your own research on Shambhala. But now it's almost like a peace offering, almost like a sign of peace. Listen. It says, Val moved closer to the masters who were holding out their hands toward the tribe. To my surprise, I noticed rings of light swarming around their hands like huge incense. This is from the masters now. The tribe took a step back and fell to their knees in front of Alberto and Manuel. And I believe Alberto and Manuel were the ascending masters, or the beings that were either not from this world or from this world in ancient times, who are now, of course, through graduation and going through things that we went through in life, have now ascended to higher levels of knowing and gnosis and divinity. I'll read that again. To my surprise, I noticed rings of light swarming around their hands like huge insects, bugs. The tribes took a step back and fell to their knees in front of Alberto and Manuel. And as I'm telling you the story, I want you guys to have a visual as well. Imagine we are on spaceships with these ascending masters, and we're going inside this earth called Argatha, this place that many mainstream scholars will dispute and say it just don't even exist. But like Atlantis and Lemuria, we knew they exist. We know they exist. Or with Lemuria and Atlantis, we knew they exist. Argatha still exists. We haven't even got to the mother yet. This is amazing. Hit the like button. Let's keep going. The rings of light had obviously made an impression. A man at least 7 feet tall got up from the group and approached us. I couldn't understand what he said, but Alberto spoke to him. It was a long conversation. In the end, the tall man beckoned us to follow him, which we did. We were still in the desert, but it was no longer empty. Small, conical huts were silhouetted against the intense blue sky, smoke arising from them. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled on her head approached us. Family. This is going to get interesting. This is the part where you might want to share this. This is the part where you might want to have some questions and leave on the comment sections. This is what's going to draw a lot of you to this book. Does racism play a role in this world? Yes. Melanated people, my black and brown people, and people who are not black and brown, because we are all one family. In order for us to get to that point where we're all one family, we must learn what has happened. And Mama is about to tell us what happened. This is the part where you might want to share. This is the part where you might want to let it go viral and TikTok this. Because now this is your information. You can either let it sit down and be swept under the rug, or we can take this all the way to Congress, or we can take this all the way to the Vatican. But it is time for us to know this information, because it is written in books and people are not even talking about this book. Okay, I'm ready to go. Are you ready to listen? I'm gonna bring it back. The rings of light had obviously made an impression. A man at least 7 feet tall got up from the group and approached us. I couldn't understand what he said, but Alberto spoke to him. It was a long conversation. In the end, the tall man beckoned us to follow him, which we did. We were still in the desert, but it was no longer empty. Small, conical huts were silhouetted against the intense blue sky, smoke arising from them. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled up on her head approached us. To my sisters, listen to this. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled up on her head approached us. Woman, there is a divine mother in Argatha right now who is waiting for us to wake up. You want the truth, but can you handle the truth? You talk about these people who are in the White House, who are about to be in the White House. You talking about the UN doing this, and doesn't matter. What matters is us as a people join together, no matter what race, and discuss the truth. Or else you people are just robots on automation, just talking to be talking and not wanting to do nothing. Because I'm going to read this to you now. And now, this goes for me just knowing this, to you just knowing this. And if you know this, that means millions of other people have the opportunity to know this. So if you know it, what are you going to do with the information? Here we go. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled up high on her head. I can imagine. Listen to how they describe this sister. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled up high on her head approached us. She was strangely beautiful. She was strangely beautiful. I don't even know what that means. Because I didn't see black beauty. I didn't see melanated beauty. But to say she is strangely beautiful? Whoa. It says she was strangely beautiful in her foreign way. She wore a gold cloth at her waist. I want somebody to draw, because I know we got some drawers, some illustrators out there. I'm going to read the description again. I got time today. And I want somebody to draw this, and please send me a picture. And whoever send me a picture, I'm posting that on my TikTok. I'm posting it on my Facebook. I'm posting it everywhere. Because we need to, come on now, for my people who know how to draw. I'm going to give you a totally good description of the queen and Argatha right now. Okay, you ready? Here we go. A young woman with ebony skin and tightly curled hair piled high on her head approached us. Remember, this is in the inner earth. She was strangely beautiful in her foreign way. She wore a gold cloth at her waist, was painted in yellow and gold, and was weighed down with jewelry. This sounds like Oshun. She stood before the masters, and they all bowed to each other. Gold glittered from her arms, neck, and waist, and on her feet were gold sandals laced high up her legs with gold ribbon. Her skin was even darker than the tall man. Y'all better hit the like button. Y'all better share this. This is going down. This is going down. Wow. Okay. All right. Let me read that again. Let me read that again. She was strangely beautiful in her foreign way. She wore a gold cloth at her waist, was painted in yellow and gold, and was weighed down with jewelry. She stood before the masters, and they all bowed to each other. So there was some respect. The masters that came from the spaceship with the witnesses, when they went inside Argatha in the earth and seen the queen, they put respect on her name. They bowed to each other, and she respected them. They bowed to each other. Let's keep reading. Once again, gold glittered from her arms, neck, and waist, and on her feet were gold sandals laced high up her legs. My gosh. Somebody better draw a picture of this beautiful queen. I need to see it. Her skin was even darker than the tall man. Listen to this, because this is where it's going to get very important that you listen. This is Yola, the Queen Yola. Y-O-L-A. Yola. Yola, we say your name in praise, beautiful queen. Yola. Say her name. Yola. Yola. This is Yola, the gold queen. Now I'm going to put my voice on. This is Yola, the gold queen. The tall man introduced her. You are in Uria. And it's spelled U-U-R-I-A. I want to say that again. I like the way all that sounds. This is Yola, the gold queen. The tall man introduced her. You are in Uria, which is spelled U-U-R-I-A. The birthplace of mankind. From here, all races on the earth originated. Argatha, not on the surface where we are, but inside the earth, lies a black queen. And there's a tribe with her. This tall man, over 7 feet, melanated man, introduces the queen. Her name is Yola. I gotta do my Denzel right now. My nigga. This is Yola. Yola. The Gold Queen. You are in Uria, the birthplace of mankind. From here, all races on the earth originated. From here, all races on the earth originated there. Man, let's keep going. Because the queen haven't even spoke yet. The witness says, we could understand him, and we understood what the Gold Queen said when she started talking. Oh, the queen is about to speak. And I want y'all to listen closely to the words she said. Because if you call yourself black, melanated, or brown, you got work to do. You got work to do. We could understand him, and we understood what the Gold Queen said when she started talking. We sat on the sand, and she perched on a sort of woven gold throne that was brought for her, and which gleamed like the sun. Ladies and gentlemen, for some of you, the first time we're about to hear the words of the queen that is inside of earth, our mother, one of our mothers, Yola. So I know some of you like, he's extra happy. Yeah, you're damn right I'm happy. Because since I was a kid, I grew up sitting in front of a TV watching the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, watching Malcolm X, watching Martin Luther King, being inspired by such hip-hop revolutionaries, whether you hate them or love them, as Tupac Shakur. Listen to Chuck D, Public Enemy. I grew up from that generation. I was probably about 7 to 6 when the Rodney King thing happened. You know, Sean Bell, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Blade, so many more for me to name. So yeah, I'm a little bit excited when they tell me there's a black melanated queen inside the earth that is waiting for us to wake up now so we can really reap the benefits. Maybe it's just me, but even if it's just me, I'm cool. But I got a feeling it's not just me that's happy about this information. And this ain't about racism at all. This is about not going against any other races. But if we're going to be really joined together as humanity, then the so-called powers that be, the 1%, the one, they know this. But you as a people, black, white, brown, yellow, whatever, we need to get together and figure out why this information is being suppressed from us. More than the obvious reasons than we think. The queen is about to speak. She says, and I quote, "You strangers desire to see the birthplace," she said, in more strident tones than we had expected. We're going to Google what strident means later on your own terms. You strangers desire... Angela... Somebody get up, call Angela Bassett. Or we don't need... Somebody needs to animate this. I want... Like, even if we use... But we can get a darker sister. But I mean, even if it's animated, I would love Angela Bassett's voice. But we can find a lot of beautiful... dark sisters to play this role as well. But here we go. Shout out to the beautiful sisters all the way around. You strangers, she said. You strangers desire to see the birthplace, she said in more strident tones than we had expected. She says, this village will... Listen. Mama said, this village was created so long ago that the surface of the earth was still not formed. Heaven created us in his image. On my channel, I'm going to post a video. Oh God. Of the sister Abby Lincoln. And you can Google her video after this when she's talking about the African gods. But I'm going to post that in a few days. I'm going to read what Mom says again. And the Queen says again, the Queen Yola. You strangers desire to see the birth. Imagine these Europeans going inside the earth and they're seeing this black queen. And this queen is dropping this information that is very important. And then I'm going to just leave it there. You strangers desire to see the birthplace, she said, in more strident tones than we had expected. Yola says, this village was created so long ago that the surface of the earth was still not formed. Heaven created us in his image. Heaven took the trouble of giving us human inheritance. We went to the surface where we were betrayed and disappointed. You guys remember the Anunnaki story I gave you guys? And I'm going to hurry up and give you this story. I thank you for watching. Yeah, I'm going to hurry up and give you this story. It's almost over. You strangers. This is what Mama says in Argatha, which is inside the earth right now. I thank you guys for your patience. Once again, the Queen in Argatha. Argatha is inside the earth. It's another city, another world, connected with Shambhala, some says. Look up Shambhala. Shamballah. Okay, let me finish this off. And I thank y'all for your patience. I really do. This is some very impactful information. All right, let's go. You strangers, this is what Mom says. Queen Yola says this to the people. You strangers desire to see the birthplace. You strangers desire to see the birthplace. You strangers desire to see the birthplace, she said in more strident tones than we had expected. This village was created so long ago that the surface of the earth was still not formed. Heaven created us in his image. Heaven took the trouble of giving us human inheritance. We went to the surface where we were betrayed and disappointed. And I quote, the survivors return here. People who were going to the survivors return here. People who we were going to confirm as true children of heaven betrayed us with the help of the evil king's war, power, and selfishness, and he remained in power. His name was Anu, and his followers called the Anunnaki. He and his followers have finally fled to their own planet. People on the surface will be given the chance to become what was originally intended. The children of heaven will regain their origins, and Anu has been filtered by evil, and the evil brought darkness of thought and feeling. Some of the children of heaven luckily managed to retain their generosity, love, and integrity, and they will help us now. We have grief for the earth as a cherished relative, but our grief has changed to joy. We have great help from other planets, and we're planning a UFO visit to enlighten the surface dwellers about their wonderful inheritance. As above, so below. The witness says, I interrupted her. Where does that come from, as above, so below? It's the very decree which heaven taught us, the queen replied. That's how it was meant to be, and will be in the future. Knowledge meant ego triumph over spirit. That is what happened. Knowledge meant ego triumph over spirit. That is what happened. It is warm like a hot summer day on the surface when we retreated. Now she's going back to after what. Yeah, how about that? How about all that? I didn't think this was going to be an hour or close to an hour. So I'm going to read that again. Slowly. So you can hear what happened. The Anunnaki's connection to what happened. And the fact that race did play a part so much that the original melanated people left because they got betrayed. And it says the people who that we came onto the surface to let them know that they're the original people betrayed them and ended up working for the Anunnaki. Damn. So I'm going to read that again. Starting from the Yola Queen. Remember, I'm going to go back to the tall man who was part of the tribe, who stood up and introduced the queen. That's where I'm going to start from. This is Yola, Y-O-L-A, the Gold Queen. The tall man introduced her. He says, you are in Uria, spelled U-U-R-I-A, the birthplace of mankind. From here, all races on the earth originated, quote, end quote. The witness said we could understand him, and we understood what the Gold Queen said when she started talking. We sat on the sand, and she perched on a sort of woven gold throne that was brought for her, and which gleamed like the sun. This is where the queen starts talking right here. And Yola says, you strangers desire to see the birthplace? She said in a more strident tone than we had expected. She also goes on to say, this village was created so long ago that the surface of the earth was still not formed. Heaven created us in his image. Remember what the Bible said. The Elohim said, let's create them in our image. So we know what image that was now. Black people, you have your truth. Brown people, whites, Asians, you have your truth. Whether you accept that truth, it's up to you. This is not a debate. This is a revelation. She says, once again, this village was created so long ago that the surface of the earth was still not formed. Heaven created us in his image. Heaven took the trouble of giving us human inheritance. Let's stop there. The queen said heaven took the trouble of giving us human inheritance. So that lets me know that even before then, we weren't human. We were spirits in a spiritual world. Heaven, it's not giving a specific name. It is saying heaven itself took the trouble of giving us a human inheritance. Let's keep reading on what the queen says. She goes on to say, we went to the surface. This is us right now. Remember, the queen's inside Argatha. Anybody trying to start trouble with the queen, don't do it. I promise you, you don't want that smoke. Because we riding with her, and she got her own squad. I'm letting you know that we riding with mama. Don't try it. Once again, she says, we went to the surface, which is earth. They went here. Listen to what she says, why they went to earth for. Where we were betrayed and disappointed. But listen, let's go further to see why she went there. She said, we went to the surface where we were betrayed and disappointed. Have you ever been betrayed and disappointed? Then you know what the queen felt. The survivors returned here. Now, she jumps on to say survivors. Survivors of what? The flood? Of an attack, a war? Because if you read what the 3 chapters I was reading in the Anunnaki story, they were fighting somebody. Remember that? So is this who they were fighting? And they won, and the Anunnaki won, and their reward for winning was alter the time of the surface people, alter our time, and our family said, forget this, we're going to Argatha. You can have this. But one day we're going to wake our people up again, and they're going to have control over this once more. Let's bring it back. She says, we went to the surface where we were betrayed and disappointed. Let's keep going. The survivors return here. People who we were going to confirm as true children of heaven betrayed us with the help of the evil king's war, power, and selfishness. And he remained in power. His name was Anu, and his followers were called the Anunnaki. So listen, this is how I'm going to interpret this. You can have your own interpretation of this. This beautiful black queen went to the surface, came to Earth, where she was going to tell probably the same ones who looked just like her, black people, that they were the chosen ones. She said right here, she said, people who we were going to confirm were the true children of heaven. I'm thinking it was black people on Earth who she was going to let them know that they were the true children of heaven, betrayed them, and end up working for the Anunnaki. We're only hearing one story about the Anunnaki, and it's working in their favor to a certain degree. Now we have to ask the question, were the Anunnaki playing a race war? And what color were the Anunnaki slaves in that cave who were really pushing that work in, that rebelled against the royal or the Anunnaki in power? See, now we got to ask a lot of more questions, because remember, as the queen said, as above, so below. So something happened to where the melanated people were pushed back. And where a lot of them just said, forget it, we're leaving the surface and we're going inside this earth. It's very powerful information here. Okay, let's continue going on. She says the survivors return here to Argatha. She says this is wild, because this is a perfect example of it'll be your own kind. How many of y'all said that before? It'd be your own people. It'd be your own people. So when black, brown, melanated people, whatever you want to call yourself, when we wonder what the hell are we going through here? Why is this going? We had a chance to be saved. But some people out there, they had Uncle Tom's back then too. I'm just going to throw it out there. Now I'm going to continue reading this, and I'm going to end it off here. Once again, she said, the survivors return here. People who we, she said, the queen is speaking to let these witnesses know. People who we were going to confirm as true children of heaven betrayed us with the help of the evil king's war, power and selfishness, and remain in power. God, every time I hear this, it just brings more like information in my head. Like, can you imagine like these black people working for the Anunnaki on the earth, and then out of nowhere, the spiritual black beings come and say, listen, actually, you guys are actually more powerful than these people. And just like some Django crap, they went back to, master, it's these crazy black folks talking about they from inside the earth. Talking about we better than you, master. Oh, really? Where they at? Show us these black people. You got it, master. This is what I'm hearing. Hit the like button if you agree with me, because this is exactly what I'm hearing. You can't word this any other way. And I'll read it again. We went to the surface where we were betrayed and disappointed. The survivors return here. People who we were going to confirm as true children of heaven betrayed us with the help of the evil king's war, power, and selfishness. And he remained in power because those people betrayed them. Black people. Whoa, blacks. Melanated people. Now they have even more reason to give you their God now. Just so you don't even have questions about who these people were that told you that you were true children of heaven. We're going to give you our God now. Let's continue reading on. Once again, people who we were going to confirm as true children of heaven betrayed us with the help of evil king's war, power, and selfishness, and he remained in power. His name was Anu, and he was called the Anunnaki. Anu, two sons, you know very well, Enki and Enlil. Some people say, I believe that Enki, maybe Enlil was Yahweh in the Bible. And like I say, some of you know the Anunnaki story more than I do. So we're seeing how this plays out now. He and his followers have finally fled to their own planet. Listen to this. People on the surface will be given the chance to become what was originally intended, which is the children of heaven, will regain their origin. We are seeing that now in the age of Aquarius. People are waking up, the age of technology, the age of awareness, the age of knowing. So we are knowing that we come from a place that is more us than this world. Remember, Christ said, do not conform to this world. And he also said the kingdom, that my kingdom is not of this world. It says, the children of heaven will regain their origin. Anu held them fettered by evil, and evil brought darkness of thought and feeling. So now you are hearing what happened to us. Anu took this over. I read in the Zechariah books, and the book that I was reading from you guys, and I don't think I read this chapter to you guys, but I'm going to have to, that the Anunnaki alter time. I mean, you can see in Ethiopia, I think they're in 2017 right now. We're in 2024. These Anunnaki alter time. We're not even in the right time frame that we're supposed to be in right now. Let me read that again. It says, the children of heaven will regain their origin. Anu held us bondage, fettered by evil, and the evil brought darkness of thought and feeling. There's your what, why, and how, right there. And I quote, she says, some of the children of heaven luckily managed to retain their generosity, love, and integrity. She mentions integrity. This is how important integrity is. She says, luckily, some of us retained our love, integrity, and generosity. And they will help us now. It is up to us. Do you hear it? This is why I go so hard on these videos. This is why I go so hard on letting you know who you are as an ordained metaphysical minister. Because there are beings, our family, who are inside the earth that is rallying for us to wake up. This is not a game. It's not. She says, we have grieved for the earth as a cherished relative. But our grief has changed to joy. And as I've been telling people throughout my videos, it's a time to rejoice. I've been saying this. We have a great help from other planets. You are not alone. And we're planning a UFO visit to enlighten the surface dwellers about their wonderful inheritance. We love you, Mama Yola. As above, so below. And the witness interrupted her. Where does this come from, this as above, so below? And the Queen Mama says, Yola says, it's the very decree which heaven taught us. That's what the Queen said. That's how it was meant to be and will be in the future. Knowledge meant ego triumph over spirit. That is what happened. So with her saying that, it takes me back to the Adam and Eve thing with the eating of the fruit. Once you know the knowledge, now you have an understanding, or now you're introduced to good and evil, but there is no such thing as good and evil. It is your ignorance and separation of God that introduce you to something called good and evil. But in actuality, there is nothing but the one. And I'll stop there, because I don't think Mama says too much after that. Hold on, I do want to read this, because the witness describes the setting of all this going around. Remember, it was desert-like and all that good stuff, but she describes it a little bit more. And I hope that my Wi-Fi connects here. And if I think I've been searching. I don't think I'm on Madro no more, but I want you to search the music that they described as being played. She said it was warm. It was a hot summer day on the surface. It says, and I guess this is going back to the surface now. It says, we were treated to cooling drinks and loud conversation with the attracting queen mother. As she turned out to be in her court on the surface, we don't believe that Earth is so ancient and its culture so extensive. Yola had a choir which sang Mandarin-like songs. They were herding songs from goat herders. The goats had longer horns and shorter coats than we are used to because of the heat. The village was sizable and scattered across a wild area. The sand dunes in the desert finished pretty much where we had launched. Long grass and flowers replaced it further on, including a cactus resembling an orchid which I had never seen before. The people were such a mixture, both black and white. Yola explained that it was heaven's original plan that all people should live together, but that differences increased as the surface was populated. As we entered the town, the houses changed. Here there were more normal houses, almost like English cottages with clay walls and thatched roofs. Chimneys didn't exist, and it was so hot and food was cooked outside the kitchen. Excuse me, and let me read that again. As we entered the town, the houses changed. Here there were more normal houses, almost like English cottages with clay walls and thatched roofs. Chimneys didn't exist, as it were so hot, and food was cooked outside. The kitchens, quote unquote, were like booths, but to judge from the food, they were perfect for cooking in. By the time we were ready to go, we were almost overwhelmed by music. Great vegetarian food. They only ate vegetarian food. That says a lot about melanated people now and where we're headed. I'm going on 3 months vegan, and it is a great. It's been interesting. But the benefits at the end are amazing. So they're saying we're here in Urea, then that there's only a vegetarian lifestyle, a vegetarian diet. And then, I think they were talking about, and it says, by the time we were ready to go, we were almost overwhelmed by music, great vegetarian food, and the joy emanating from the magical place. Now, I'm going to see if there's any more information I can give you guys. But that's pretty much it. And this is all Argatha. And they were describing this. I want to make sure I read that right and make sure they won't talk about the surface. But they were describing the place Urea, and they said it was warm like a hot summer's day on the surface. It says, we were treated to cooling drinks and lively conversation with the attractive queen mother as she turned out to be in her court. On the surface, we don't believe that Earth is so ancient and its culture so extensive. It says here, we don't believe that, but them going to Argatha and seeing it, it is. Inside the Earth, there are tribal people similar to our tribal people on Earth. A queen, a black mother, who have told us the true story. I'm going to end there. This information is yours now. And for my melanated people that are watching, I want to say this to you. This information is yours now. If you want this book, research it on your own by typing in, I showed you everything. Or you can just ask me and I can just put it on my home screen on YouTube, on the Cosmic Christ University. To my white folks and my European folks, and to folks who are not melanated, black and brown, I got a feeling that you guys understand this was no slight or no fade against you. If anything, this is a joining of all cultures and races together as we are brothers and sisters of Christ. But do understand that the issues of race have to be addressed. I gave you guys the story of Sami in Tokyo, which they kept that and still keeping that wrapped. So understand that we are all children of the one source. But we have to understand, in order for us to defeat what we call racism, in order for us, as all races of this humanity that we are placed on this planet, we must deal with it head on. We must deal with its galactic origins, its present origins, so we don't have to worry about no future racism. Because in the future, I don't think what color you are is going to matter. We're going to see some purple beings, some orange beings, some cat beings, some dragon beings, some reptilian beings, some bird beings, some ape beings. I just hope this information was very vital for you, and I hope it was useful. This is the Cosmic Christ University, the greatest university of all, at least in this 22nd generation, 21st as well, ending. Know your power. Know that you are greater. Never doubt yourself. Know that Christ is within you. Know that you are co-creator with what you call God. Until next time, peace.